The way you build a PC is changing forever.
Google reveals Apple's secret 90s device.
And Intel is gonna 3D stack so much stuff that you're gonna wish they didn't 3D stack so much. Let's get in the hot news, everybody. I'm your Brett host. We're gonna be going over the hottest tech news that I can find on the internet while you enjoy your breakfast this Friday, September 22nd, 2023, also known as iPhone Day.
Yeah, that means nothing to me.
Oh, are you one of the poors? We'll talk about that in a second, but it's also the day after Cooler Master announced that they are finally shipping their flat-packed PC cases. This is not the first flat-pack PC case that has come out to the market, but it does appear to be the simplest version of it. Cooler Master announced this back at Computex back in June, showing this off, but essentially this makes it so that all of the parts come packed flat.
It's IKEA cases.
Essentially, yes, but this makes it good for shipping costs. It makes it good for storage, for warehouses, like retailers would probably want this. And then on top of that, there are some environmental impacts because you don't have to ship as much volume. It makes it a little bit better. So this thing can fit big old parts up to 208mm water coolers, big old GPUs and everything, and it's not going to cost terribly too much. Coming in at the price point of around 80 pounds, available in October, and they're going to have a macaroon edition. Macaroons. It's got these fancy colors and a hot news filter duster. I'm messing up my dust filter. Is what's happening there. I like this. Inwin came out with theirs, but you had to like bend the sheet metal.
I don't like
when
that.
you got it, whereas this just seems like you have to assemble it with screws.
I really like this, and I think if they add more like modularity to it, like you could get like an expansion thing one day and just like extend the size of your case by adding...
Which Cooler Master has been known for,
yeah,
with their half stackers and everything like that.
I'm totally in for this.
Yeah.
Also, I like the colors. I really do.
Colors are nice. They're starting off with a smaller case. Potentially they can embiggen it later on, and I like this future. We are starting to enter, it feels like 2023, 2024 is going to be the year of things being better. That was way too vague and broad, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Things better.
You know, the power connectors hiding and being in the motherboard, backside power connectors, now cases that you can modulate together.
I love it. I want this future.
You know what future you want? The one with today's video is sponsor, Falcon Northwest. Today's video is sponsored by Falcon Northwest and their lineup of custom PCs that you should be considering for your next rig. Being the first company to build PCs specifically for gaming, they've had 3 decades to hone their craft into incredible statement pieces like this Tiki PC we have right here. That's longer than half of my employees have been alive. But this Tiki system has a PC case that you can't find anywhere on the market, because Falcon Northwest purposely designed it in-house for maximum performance and fantastic thermal management. It has features like a 5-pound billet of solid aluminum to keep it planted on your desk, and specs that are incredible in such a small form factor. Our particular model has a Ryzen 9 7950 X3D, an RTX 4080, 64 gigs of DDR5 RAM, and a 2TB SSD. And as you can see, it's been arrayed in our own custom UFD and SYNGAP Research Fund Zebra print and our own nameplate on the inside. But the best part is, this isn't because we're special. Falcon Northwest goes out of their way to provide you with a high-end gaming rig that's catered, designed, and stylized to be not only what you need, but also what you want. And it's not limited to the small form factor Tiki. They have the Frag Box for portability, the Talon for versatility, and the rack for server lovers. So no matter your desires in the enthusiast and gaming scene, Falcon Northwest has a build that can be matched to it, like Cupid straight into your gaming heart. And their technical support and warranty are unmatched. All of their desktops have a 3-year warranty with a year of Falcon overnight service. That means if there's a problem with the hardware they can't fix over the phone, they cover overnight shipping both ways to get the PC back to them, fix it, and overnight it back to you. And to top it all off, they even send you some of their Falcon Fuel coffee so you can be ready for your next episode of Breakfast on your new Falcon Northwest PC. So check out Falcon Northwest and their impeccable lineup of PCs at the link in the video description. You won't find anything else like it for your next rig. And as a little cherry on the Falcon Northwest sundae, they've provided this one-of-a-kind UFD PC as an incredible giveaway prize on our upcoming Cannonball for the Cure charity stream, where we'll be raising money to cure my son's rare disease. So if you want this piece of history, come join us for that on October 4th through 6th. Big thanks again to Falcon Northwest for sponsoring this video. Well, Reece, I gotta tell you, I need to borrow $200,000 from you.
How soon do you need it?
Preferably within the next couple of hours.
Okay, sweet.
Okay, because ASUS has shown off their 135-inch micro LED professional studio TV monitor. It's a monitor as far as I'm aware. It is a wall, 135 inches. This bad boy is meant to be the giganto versions of those reference monitors that video editors and colorists and everybody use, but using the micro LED technology instead of OLED, so it can control individual pixels. It's modular, so they can build it really big like this, and they showed it off. 1,000,000:1 contrast ratio, 2,000 nits brightness, 4K resolution, and again, for that 4K, it's just a cool $200,000.
Can you imagine switching that on to a widescreen and just flashbanging yourself?
You did what?
He needs some milk!
Well, hopefully I have something a little cheaper for you, but just as novel. I actually like this concept regardless of people crapping on it, because you'll see why they're upset with it in a second. MSI announced their Limited Series, which is going to be them doing little drops of little unique parts that they're going to be selling.
Okay.
And they're going to be going with drop 1 in the next 3 days. That's going to be happening. But they announced what it is, and it's this RTX 4060 NV edition.
Why does this look so retro?
It does. It's a lot of people don't like it specifically because it's a 4060. Like, you just polished a turd is the comment that I've been reading about this. But at the same time, this gives MSI the capacity to actually test out different novel concepts like this. You know how we're always begging for brighter colors on the motherboard and more fun being interjected into the PC space.
Yeah.
Limited drops, 1,000 units each, or 6,000 units in the case of this GPU, makes it so they don't have to fully invest in these things, and they can see what sells well, and then, start rolling things out, and maybe...
We might get different paths in the future. I'm in two minds about this.
What's your second mind?
I'm scared that they leave all the good designs behind a paywall kind of thing like this.
Ooh.
But I'm all for this if it's for discovery.
Yeah, okay, you're right. I was too in deep on that capitalistic kite train.
I know how people are with sneakers and things like that. You start adding limited drops.
Yeah, you're right, but this is only a 4060. It can't be worth too much. I mean, there is that factor when it comes to PC parts. At some point, you're just like, why? I'm just gonna buy the faster version. Whereas sneakers, it's not like they make you run faster.
Shoe to.
Well, you shoe to this chair to give us the deals.
And hey, deals! Welcome back to UFD Deals, everyone, bringing the hottest tech deals out on the internet. And hey, we're starting off today with Corsair's HS65 Surround, which is their wired gaming headset, going for only $39.99, making it $30 off.
That seems like a good deal, and I like that design, that carbon.
The new 65s are...
That's new?
We tried the 60s and 70s back in the day.
I like that.
And then if you like bundles, you can grab the...
I bought a bundle. You didn't have it as a deal because it wasn't that cheap, but I got two 7800 X3D bundles because we're doing PC builds for the Cannonball for the Cure giveaway. We're gonna have, I've tallied up the prizes without everybody confirmed. We still have multiple companies with big outstanding offers. We are over $50,000 in prizes so far. 50 grand
dang.
For the Cannonball. Anyways, get to your combo deals.
We got the ASRock B550M Pro SE, which is an AM4 micro ATX motherboard with a free Soldime 512 gig SSD, going for only $84.99. And then continuing with the bundle stuff, we have an AMD Ryzen 5 5600X, which you can get with the ASUS Prime B450MA, which is the AM4 ATX motherboard, with this combo going for only $189.99, making it $65.99 off.
Did you hear me burping?
I didn't.
Okay, good. Catlin, I hope you didn't hear it either. It was rumbling down there. I'm sorry.
And he's gonna rumble on back into the rest of the hot.
Catlin, are these videos more fun for you to edit now that Reece is here, or is it just more work and more
Funner.
You did what to the nun? Reece! Well, I've got a bad deal for you, okay? Buying an NFT a few years ago. Buying an NFT ever, right?
Ever.
Like this, any sound-minded individual that I interface with never was fully wholesale on the NFT idea. Now there are reports coming out of analyses of the entire NFT market. Turns out it just practically imploded, citing that 95% of all NFTs are worth 0 Ethereum.
So nothing's changed.
At one point, they were being bidded on and had some value to some extent, and just making it that the most common price for NFTs right now is between $5 and $100 when you convert the Ethereum value. And fewer than 1% have a price tag above $6,000, which is a very small portion of what it used to be. So a lot of this is intriguing simply because of the fact that the whole, idea behind NFTs was the idea that you couldn't funge them. But what they were doing was they were just playing like picture matcher, where they were creating these non-funged apes that, yes, technically couldn't be funged, but they saturated the market with so many of them that eventually it was unsustainable. It was a freaking gold rush. And I mean, the people who did it specifically to make money early got the bag, but anybody who thought that they were gonna make money from it and not the ones who pioneered it, oh man, you got caught whole. The greater fool theory it catches up to you no matter what.
Cool tech, horrible implementation.
It's not even that cool of tech.
It could have been useful for contracts and stuff like that.
We already have regular contracts.
I know, but blockchain
has mild implementations, but it's not gonna take the world by storm. We figured out these problems already. And Google wants Apple to figure that problem out. Speaking of old tech, cool tech, all of that, them releasing Apple's iPager campaign, where they show off exactly what they believe that Apple is, worth launching at this point. Are you waiting for innovation? It's time to keep waiting. Especially because they're just pulling Apple's chain, yanking their toes on the fact that they are still using SMS and not transitioning over to RCS. They spent a lot of money to get a graphic designer, a 3D modeler to get this put together to try to get Apple to switch.
I loved the little low battery in the corner. That was a good touch.
We'll see if Apple ever changes their tune. I see it happening. I see Apple going over to RCS. It's just going to take their timeline,
And they're going to do it their way.
We just got USB-C. Just give them another half a decade.
They need to catch their breath.
Yeah, hold on. They just moved really fast once. And Google not changing their tune on providing parts on iFixit for repairability. It was still shame on Google for their Pixel Watch. Bad Google that we can't actually repair the Pixel Watch, but the Pixel Fold, to replace the inner screen, they have it available on iFixit. It costs what they said, which is 900 bones, but it includes a lot. It includes the foldable display and the chassis, which includes the side frame, the fingerprint sensor, the volume rocker, the batteries, and then the outer display set.
What?
Yeah, so it includes a lot. That $900 is not just that interior folding thing, but they're essentially saying, if you have to replace this, you gotta replace all of this. That's what's going on. I get it. Makes sense. It's expensive, but that's what you get for being on the bleeding edge, unless you want to get just flashbacks to the NFT craze, because YouTube had a whole summit yesterday where they showed off a bunch of new stuff that they're trying to roll out. Most of it focused on shorts, and most of it focused on their new app, YouTube Create, which is going to be for mobile creators to actually make videos from an app that they get on the Google Play Store. It's like an editing app that they provide for free and making it so it's just
TikTok is affiliated with CapCut or something like that. They've got their own stuff going.
It's exactly the same type of vibe. They're also rolling out some other AI stuff, including research things for you to get ideas for what videos you're gonna make. And then this is the editor, as you can see here. It's just a quick little mobile editor, but the thing that brings me back to the 90s. That's just the common theme, just hip tech that is gonna die real fast. They have their Dream Screen AI background replacements, which just looks like a school picture from the 90s.
This looks like those weird adverts that used to play in It's just kids that pop up and go, wow!
Or it's like that guy who like had his cat and like went and got like mall photos taken of it. You know what I'm talking about? That's exactly what these Dream Screen AI replacement backgrounds remind me of. If you need these for your content, I'm glad that it's being provided for you. I also just...
I can see the memes being good.
Hopefully. But there's more AI being rolled out into Windows with Microsoft. More! They announced that they were already doing this. Windows Copilot was going to be coming out, but now we have a date. It's going to be churning out on September 26th, which coincidentally is the same day that Phantom Liberty comes out for Cyberpunk 2077.
AI.
Which, if you want to watch our video where we checked out DLSS 3.5 and all of that in Cyberpunk, you can watch that video that we released yesterday. But this is supposed to allow you to do a whole bunch of new stuff with Microsoft and with Windows, and allegedly isn't going to suck like their current search feature. You know how you use Windows search and you try to find a file that you know exists somewhere?
It is the most frustrating part about my Windows experience coming from Mac.
It searches the internet for a local file. Allegedly, somehow, this is not going to be subject to all of that. You tell it to turn on dark mode, and guess what? Allegedly, it can go find how to do that. They couldn't get their regular search right. I don't know how functional this is actually going to be once it rolls out. Hopefully it's good. I want to believe here. I want to believe that just typing what I want into a box will yield the result I am looking for. I have very little confidence when it comes to Microsoft because Windows 11 didn't make it any better.
If I have to search Photoshop on the web one more time.
Why don't you just pin the icon?
Because I like looking nice and clean.
That's fair. Well, Intel doesn't like looking at the Arc A580, allegedly. They announced this bad boy a year ago at their Innovation Summit, which just got done being hosted. And turns out the A580, even though it got announced, we know the specs. Look at all those things. It's like a cut down A750. It is nowhere to be seen. Over a year ago, it's just floating out there in the ether. There was like one Chinese website that had it for sale.
I feel like I remember.
And nothing. Intel's just not talking about it no more. We don't got it.
They're hiding it. They're keeping it to themselves.
Just give it. I mean, if they sold that for like $150, ooh, baby.
I'd be okay with that.
Especially with the A380 coming in $100.
Yeah, $100.
And then you got the, oh man, that would be great. Intel, you would endear me to you forever. I already bought your GPUs. I'll buy another.
Where is it?
I'm not even giving this away on the Cannonball. This one's staying with me. I made a list of all the parts that we could give away. Not a single Intel card made it on there because that's mine. And it's Intel's to potentially start 3D stacking everything. This is coming out of the innovation event that we talked about. And one of the big advantages that AMD's had in their CPUs is their 3D stacked V-cache, where they've been able to put the gamer cache on stuff like the 5800 and 7800 X3D, which helps them to go kerchoo in gaming. And when asked about this with regards to how Intel's going to handle it, the CEO says when you reference V-cache, you're talking about a very specific technology that TSMC does with some of its customers as well.
Who could that be?
I don't know who they're talking about. Obviously, we're doing that differently in our own composition because the thing that Intel is different in AMD in regards to is the fact that not only do they make their chip designs, they also make their chips. AMD couldn't make 3D V-cache if TSMC didn't offer it. Intel, if they want to make something, they just go and make it. That's the general idea. That's also the reason why we were on 14 nanometers for so long, because when it breaks, the whole thing breaks. But they say that you're seeing the idea of 3D silicon in their roadmap where they'll have cache on die and they'll have CPU compute on the stacked die on top of it, and then stacking other things to have different composing capabilities. And that they feel very good. They have advanced capabilities for next generation memory architectures, advantages for 3D stacking for both little die as well as for very big packages for AI and high performance servers as well. So we have a full breadth of those technologies. We'll be using those for our products as well as presenting the Foundry customers as well. So Intel very much on the 3D stacking side of things, but they're stacking CPUs. They're not just stacking the cache.
They want to do it all.
We'll have to wait and see how that practically plays out. There's nothing currently on the roadmap of anything that's going to hit consumers. Intel's just been raw handling that performance with clock speed and trying to give it to us and compete with the 7800 and 7950 X3D. The 14900K is allegedly going to be 6 gigahertz. So we'll see how this all plays out. We're in the good age of competition on the CPU side.
It's starting to feel good again, right?
Not GPUs. Nothing's feeling good there. But you know what does feel good, Reece?
Comment response.
You're supposed to say deals, but yes, comment response was the answer I was going to provide. Jay Gora is saying California's praised right to repair bill specifically allows software locks, and now we know why Apple did an about face and supported the bill. That makes a lot of sense.
It's probably some lobbying, some hard lobbying going on back.
We can still
doors.
As much. Okay. This is the road I'm trying to walk. As much as we can condemn Apple for the software locks on all of their repair devices, they also still kind of gave yield to some of the hardware stuff. So there
was a win.
There is a win. It's just combined with a loss, which makes it tougher to swallow, which I fully respect. iRock coming out and saying Unity is having an issue to what Hasbro or Wizards of the Coast went through. They will need to do something similar to how Wizards of the Coast recovered by giving devs a better deal and putting it in writing that they won't change the deal going forward. No other way to regain trust. But they also said that they weren't going to change the terms going forward, and then still did. This kind of harkens back a little bit to Linus's Trust Me Bro warranty, which the idea behind that is a company's warranty is only as good as their desire to uphold it. Mm-hmm. And then if the company doesn't have that desire, the warranty is meaningless. And yes, technically you have the grounds to pursue legal action, but are you gonna?
You know, people like it in writing for a reason.
But that doesn't mean that the writing actually enforces anything. But no, Unity broke the trust by saying things and then doing the exact opposite. So putting it in writing doesn't really change the fact that the trust is broken.
Yeah, but you can fight them and say, you said this, you said this.
Which we're already doing!
I know!
It doesn't change the situation at all. King Zach saying Apple's sabotaging repair isn't new. This has been a thing since the iPhone X. Nobody said it was new. The depth and degree to which they're doing it has been escalating, and that is the problem. With the iPhone 14, they made hardware repairability advancements while simultaneously adding new parts of that to their software locks. So it's this culmination of they did get more repairable, but worse on the software side. Nobody said this was new, but it is indeed an actual difference than how it was done in the past.
Good, bad.
It's gotten worse. Cat Wrangler says, I really like the pilot episode of Should You Finish It? Some of the microphones were louder than others, so maybe podcast mics for everyone in the far future, but I like the presentation and breakdown of different segments. Would love to see more. There was one microphone picking up all of us, so the difference was speaking volumes, not microphones. Additionally, podcast mics for 4 people is a pricey bone that we're not going to pick right now.
Because then you need to have it like a proper dedicated setup.
You need a mixer, you need to actually buy the good microphones. And
we were testing it out, it's a pilot.
Yeah, well, we're happy to improve it if it seems worthy to improve. Bill coming in and saying Rogue Ally versus ROG Ally argument is actually funny because it reminds me of the Ti versus Ti argument, like titanium. And Brett is absolutely right. It doesn't matter how they want to pronounce it. And if we all keep pronouncing it one way, that's how it is. That's just how it goes. But Doug Temple coming in and saying, interesting take since Rouge is a style of makeup and Rogue is a character class in D&D. We should call it the Rouge Elite.
The Rouge Elite. I'm in.
The Rouge Elite.
I'm in. It just flows.
The Rouge Elite. That makes a lot of sense. I'm going with that. And then Octia saying, wait, wasn't yesterday's episode supposed to be the last one with the two of you together? I'm confused. No, Reese's last day is tomorrow.
Yeah, it's tomorrow. What are you talking about?
We'll be back with hot news on Monday. Your last day is tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Bye.